Dr. Phil's with us today, and this next question probably has millions of Americans scratching their heads. Audrey in Wichita Falls, Texas writes, "Dear doctors, I never thought a simple case of the flu could lead me to consider bankruptcy. But when I had complications and ended up in the hospital for a week, my medical bills quickly became too much to handle. What do you recommend to patients like me? Sincerely, Audrey." You know, this is a very difficult situation. So very common, increasing medical bills, people considering bankruptcy.
Well, one of the things that I added into Life Code was an entire chapter on negotiation, because I think particularly in this day and time, you negotiate so much in your life. You negotiate your relationships, you negotiate with your children, you negotiate medical, you negotiate with your doctors, you negotiate with your carriers. You just have to negotiate. So you need to know how to go about it. And it is doable. There is a formula for it. And you don't need to feel that it's beneath you or that it's confrontive. It doesn't have to be that way at all. It was an interesting situation last week, even on little things. I was walking through my office and one of our staff members is on the phone and she's talking to somebody trying to get them to waive a $25 fee for changing an airline reservation. And I said, "How long have you been on here?" She's like, 30 minutes. And I took the phone and I said, "Excuse me, do you have the authority to waive this fee if you believe her story?" She said, "I do not." I turned around and said, "Why are you talking to somebody who cannot give you the answer you want?"
Right.
She said, "Well, I didn't think about that." I said, "May I speak to your supervisor, please?" "Sure." Supervisor gets on. "Do you have the authority to waive this fee if we tell you things you understand?" "I'm sorry, I do not." "May I speak to your supervisor, please?" Then I got this person on the phone and said, "Do you have the authority to waive this if you understand?" I'm not asking you to say you will, just do you have the authority? "Yes, sir, I do." "Thank you. Here, talk to her." Why do you spend so much time in your life talking to people who can't give you what you want? Just that simply, that one thing.
And the one thing, Audrey, is, she's talking about these medical bills, and I think it's important that if you can't pay your medical bills, you absolutely can negotiate with the hospital. Make sure you're talking to the right person. And everyone thinks they can go in and talk to the doctor. Well, reality is the doctor probably has no idea what you were billed, and probably someone else is the person who can change that bill.
And it's likely not whoever answers the
plan.
phone when you first call.
Right, and with tests, a lot of times you don't know if a patient's coming in and paying cash or doesn't have the insurance. And a lot of times when my nurse points out, then I'll change, we change things and we try and make things work out.
Well, Life Code, the new rules for winning the real world, is published by our executive producer, Jay, and you can only get it at his publishing company's bookstore, thebooknook.com.